Welcome to the Main Street Minute with equestrian marketing expert India Wilkinson. This is the destination for all things equestrian, from horse sales, breeding, horse health, and a look into the intricacies of the horse business world. Join India as she dives in with industry leaders to discuss the challenging and rewarding lifestyle of being in the equestrian world. And get ready for the Main Street Minute.
Hi there, this is India Wilkinson with the Main Street Minute, and today I am super excited to share with y'all a little bit about my team on Main Street Market. I have my fabulous interns, Vicky Vivaldi and Bri Manning, with me today, and it's something that really we don't talk about that much in the business world, how just vital internships can be to a business, but also to the interns who are here to learn and to grow their own futures in the equestrian world, especially. So I'm going to start with Bri. Bri, why don't you tell us a little bit just about your background and what a typical day looks like for you?
Hi, yeah. So I started riding when I was 7, and I started in the saddlebred world. No one in my family is a horse person, so it was kind of odd getting into it. But then eventually we moved and I was like, I really want to learn to jump. So I went and I found a little lesson barn nearby and eventually got my first horse when I turned 11, did some local shows, and then got a second horse who I took to prelim. And then when he needed a step back, I got my current baby, who's really starting to figure out the eventing game. He actually just did really well this past weekend, but a typical day for me is I wake up around like 8 or 9 to get some extra work done before school starts or class starts. If there are any tests that day, I'll try to get in a quick study session. And then I have class from 11 to 5 p.m. I have back-to-back classes. So then I get out at 5 and I try to get something to eat, and then I'll go ride my horses and make sure they're all ready and fit, and I'll come back around 7 or so and try to get all my homework done and do some stuff for Main Street.
I love that. And just tell us really quickly, you go to Virginia Tech and you are on the Virginia Tech eventing team, correct?
Yes, I am. And I'm actually looking to join the polo team.
Go on.
So I do a lot of the team stuff. I'm on the social media manager for that. I do a lot of their social media on top of social media for Main Street, and it's a lot, but we're getting it done.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Vicky, and you go to University of Florida.
Yes, I do.
Tell us a
Go
little bit about your
Gators.
background. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us on today. It's always a pleasure. So my background, I started being around horses when I was around 3 years old. I come from the show jumping side of life. And I've always just been around horses. I worked with a sales barn and I really love that. Recently, I've been transitioning more into the veterinary side of things. So a typical day in my life, I will have class from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. In between that, I try to get absolutely all my homework done, all of my club meetings, a lot of the Main Street projects that we work on, and just working for the social media. And then from 5:30 to around 1 or 2 a.m., I'll be at an urgent vet small animal clinic. So I'm working on getting my small animal experience, which has been really cool because I haven't really worked with dogs and cats in a clinical setting before. So I'm working on that. In the meantime, I'm part of the UF Pre-Veterinary Club. I'm getting my fear-free certification for animal handling, my Recover CPR certification. I'm also adding on a Spanish of Health Profession certificate from the University of Florida to learn how to speak Spanish in a medical setting and just be able to help more people, educate more people across language barriers. So then in the meantime, I also do have my own Magnawave PEMF business. So I will go to the World Equestrian Center and provide those services for horses and for people alike. So it's a very jam-packed schedule, but I am just so proud to be a representative for Main Street and really just add to the team in any way that I can.
Oh, thank you both. You are, I said this a little bit before we started. You are both such amazing, amazing girls, young women. And I am always so impressed with everything that you have going on and how you manage everything. I think that's so inspiring for anybody that knows you. So, with your super busy, jam-packed days, so Bri, we'll start with you. And I found you through social media. I posted about
Yes,
that I
yeah.
was looking for an intern, and you came so highly recommended from Shannon Riley, who is one of our longtime advertising partners with Infinity Sport Horse in Aiken. I had a lot of people apply for this position, and you just stood out. So, with your busy schedule, with everything that's going on, why were you interested in an internship? What attracted you to doing something like this?
Honestly, it was the recommendations about you. I had heard so many wonderful things about you as a person, and I was like, yeah, like I want her to be my boss. So
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I was an incoming freshman, so I hadn't really thought about internships yet, but I just heard so many great things, and I was like, yeah, like this certainly can't hurt. So I messaged you and was like, I like asking about it, and then it's really worked out well because I did need some internship experience, and it's helped to set me apart from my peers having an internship as a freshman.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I can't, and just help me remember this. Are you getting class credit for this for Main
I
Street?
get honors. I'm in the honors college as
Okay.
well, so this gives me credit on that side of things, but not necessarily for my major.
Okay. No, I think that's a really good point, though. I think when hopefully we'll get a lot of, people that are in college that are listening to this to seek that out, to find out if there
Hmm.
are any perks in their program, because there probably are but you
Yeah,
have to go and look for that.
definitely.
Yeah, and Bree, you and I kind of figured out this internship as we went along. I don't have Main Street Market does not have a structured internship program. There are businesses out there that do. I was really looking for somebody at the time to really help me. We were growing so fast.
Hmm.
But that really helped us when we brought Vicky in, because we kind of had a model of, we kind of created this. Bree and I did, with how
Yeah.
we can to work together. It's very hard for me. I'm such a control freak, and I want things to be so perfect for Main Street Market. And I think that happens a lot with especially small business owners. But
Hmm.
I shared this with y'all before. I went through some interns that did not go well. And it kind of, I was like, why am I doing this? And pouring that, because it does take a lot from a business owner to take the time and to teach while we are
Hmm.
working. But Bri and I really feel like we started that path together, and you're both so unbelievably mature. I mean, it's shocking that you're in your early 20s, because it's like I'm always feeling like
Oh,
I'm talking
thank
with 40
you.
year olds that have massive experience in the business world. I love that. So same thing with you, Vicky. And I found you through Equistaff, who is also an
Hmm.
incredible
Oh.
partner of ours. I had posted, I had such a good experience with Bree. I posted, and then I ended up getting just an array of people that just did not fit. And so I reached out to Equistaff, and they're amazing. They do placements in the equestrian world, and they recommended Vicky. So Vicky, with your super busy schedule, what was why did you want an internship? You clearly are getting tons of experience in everything that you're doing. What made you think, like, yes, I would like to do this?
Yeah, so there are definitely a couple components that went into it. For the animal science program specifically at UF, we do need to complete an internship credit before we graduate. So I did have that in the back of my mind. And I started searching online, and I actually ran into a lot of trouble trying to find an equine related internship. You either needed to know somebody directly, or it was just a very old, outdated application process that you never heard back from. So I came across Equistaff, and I was like, well, these are jobs, and I'm looking for an internship, but I sent in my resume anyway. And I was like, hey, do you have anything that could work for me? And the representative that I worked with was named Katie. She was super, super sweet. And she was like, hey, I know this amazing organization, and India is just the best person ever. You should connect with her. So then we connected, and it just really aligned with what I wanted to do, which was try something completely new, because I'd never done marketing previously. And it was a little bit of a scary field to come into, because you think about marketing and it's so broad and there's so many different components. And I wasn't exactly social media savvy per se, so it was definitely an experience to jump into head first and really just try something new. And your mentorship really just helped me expand that. that aspect of myself and be more well-rounded as a student.
I love that. And I think from a business owner's perspective, and the three of us have talked about this, but I am so open to learning from you. And as I was sharing earlier, before we started recording, there are so many business owners that maybe want to do something to bring people on board, but are so locked into how they have set the business up. We're going to do it this way. Instead of understanding how much we can learn from fresh eyes, fresh experience. You are out there, you're in it, and you have so much to offer. And I hope that I can give that advice to businesses that are thinking about an internship program. There doesn't have to be a very strict regimen to this. Like, we can be open to learning. And you both know how much I value you. You've both brought so many incredible ideas, to the table, and I'm so grateful for that. I love the energy. I have very high energy, even in my late 50s. But you both bring so much, and you're both so different, really. You have very different perspectives.
Yeah.
Bree has that very high energy with, you think a lot like me, like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this.
Yeah.
Vicky has, I talked to Vicky about things like, hey, let's work through this. What do you think about this? And you've brought some incredible perspective to things in a much more, I guess, calm. Bri and I are a little more, but that teamwork is incredible. We need all of that. Okay, so we kind of gone through this, but when, maybe things have changed since you started, but Bri, we'll start with you. What do you want out of this internship? And I don't know that you and I ever really clarified those goals.
Yeah.
Um,
I really want to get experience to discuss with people and connect with people, whether it's for job interviews or just meeting people on the day to day. And obviously, I want to build my resume. And this internship has really done a great way of doing that. And it's gotten me some, I'm going to say hands-on, even though it's digital. I've gotten some good hands-on experience advertising and marketing. And I've learned so many good tips and tricks. And I've really been pleased.
Oh, I love that. And I'll just interject. Both of you have been able to put your sales horses and the people that you work with, sales horses and equipment, and you've had really good results. So
Yeah.
it's been cool to watch you, and I have not led you through that process. You have both done that as actual users of Main Street Market, put your horses on there, and I can tell that you have learned from things that I've posted and things that I've done, and you've used that. But you've both sold horses through Main Street individually
Yeah.
and for clients, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see how it works. So Vicky, what about you? Because also we did not clarify exactly what you wanted. You can tell
Yeah.
on the fly. We've kind of gone along, which has been great. But what are your goals, through this internship?
Yeah, so there are definitely, I say, like a goal shift from when I first started with Main Street to now. I say at the beginning, it was definitely, okay, how do we meet these internship requirements? How do we add to the resume? And now that that's completed for me and also in the process, I've kind of shifted to, okay, how can I help my friends and family also post and advertise their horses? And for me, when I first came across Main Street, it was absolutely mind blowing that we could have all the information about the horse, all of the pictures, all of the videos, all of the logistical information that people will send you a million messages about, which is impossible to go through in a timely manner for professionals that are on a tight schedule as well and really can't, afford to spend hours on different platforms just trying to connect. And then you have no idea who reached out about what horse. And it was just a massive jumble of information. So Main Street really broke it down to a link, and you can just send your link. Everything is there. So we post the links, and then also just for marketing on Facebook, the algorithm likes that better. It's easier to read. It's easier to go through. So we have sold multiple horses with OH Sport Horses with Oscar Hernandez and Ocala. He just loves the process. It, for him, who also wasn't incredibly technically savvy with all of that posting and advertising, it has gotten so easy for him to go in, to share the information. And we really do see the results. So we're so happy with that. So now the goal is spreading the word and just helping make that process of sales easier for everyone.
It's been really fun to watch the light bulb go off through you with Oscar, because that is typically our user is a trainer who's super busy, has all these horses for sale, has multiple messages coming in and out. And I've loved the messages when you're like, Oscar loves this. He can just send a link.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then through that, we've actually gotten some other customers because then your clients and Oscar's clients are like, this is really cool. What is this?
Yeah.
And for me, it's so fulfilling to know that in a very tiny way, we're helping make those matches, and we're helping just streamline the process for y'all. Because I know, Bri, you've had great success with equipment too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So,
Well, and I think it's so important too. It streamlines the process with real people. So we don't have, robots, we don't have scammers. Like, it is verified. So you know that the people that are messaging you are truly interested, and you can have a real conversation versus, oh, is this just, another scammer trying to reach out?
yeah, that's very true. Just as a point with Main Street, we do have the ability that we actually filter through anybody that it would be a potential scammer, and we can block their IP addresses. So that's something that we do as an additional value to our customers. All right. So Bri, we'll start with you. Would you recommend internships to other equestrians? And I'm going to add to that, what would you have them look for if they were looking for an internship?
Absolutely. I would definitely recommend an internship to other college students. I think it's a really great way to get experience in a unique way. I think a lot of businesses like seeing a diverse application, so having experience in the equine world can actually set you apart if you go about it the right way. And sorry, can you repeat the second
Yeah,
question?
no, like what would you tell if someone was like, "Hey, I see that you've got this internship. I would like to also, look for an internship. What should I look for?" And
Hmm.
I think this answer really comes from your experience because you didn't know what you were looking for when you joined Main Street. I didn't really know what I was looking for when you joined Main Street.
Yeah.
But what would you now with your experience, how would you help somebody go about that? Like what should they look for?
I think it definitely would depend on kind of what they wanted to do and where they were looking to go. I would really recommend anything digital and certainly anything in the business world, in the business realm. I feel like that it teaches you a lot of just basic life skills, especially you interact with so many people online, and it's important to remember like to keep it polite and that you get all kinds of experiences. But yeah, definitely something in the business world, I think, is what I would recommend.
Yeah, and we at Main Street we're able to combine that because it's definitely a solid business, but we are digital. And
Yeah.
from a teaching perspective, we've had situations where, people are they're people, and
Yeah.
I've been able to coach both of you like, hey, this is how we handle this, and I think
Mhm.
that's very important because not it's hard. How would you get that experience otherwise, unless
Yeah.
by fire and by saying something wrong and then it coming back to you and that is part of what I take seriously is
Hmm.
helping you through that. I watched it with my own daughter trying to navigate job interviews and internships, and it's, these businesses, they expect you to have experience when you've just gotten out of college. And
Yeah.
fortunately she was able to do some things in college because I was of that, like, hey, you've got to get out there and I know what's about to come. But I don't think a lot of people really understand. They think that I can get through my 4 years and then go look for a job, but those jobs are expecting experience, and
Hmm.
also in how you handle that. You both handled your application process very professionally. That's come from somewhere, whether your upbringing or your prior experience. But I, as a business owner, I just went right over people that just sent me a PM that would say, tell me more, or what's with the internship, or tell me about the internship. No formal email, no, I don't have to have a perfect resume, but just a proper email would have, and you girls know,
Hmm.
I mean, but I'm, as a business owner, and I hope that when people hear this, that would be applying for internships, like you have to come across with some polish. And maybe if you don't understand that, find someone who can help you write a proper email. I don't know that that's taught in college anymore, but it makes a big impression, on this side of it. So, Vicky, and this may have changed too, but if, like if you have a friend that's looking for an internship, what are some things that you would tell them to look for in that business?
Yeah, so I definitely would say that you need to be aligned with your business's goals and values is really a big deal. Also, just scheduling wise, does it fit into your schedule? Can you give that time commitment without, biting too much off and having too much on your plate? You need to be able to say, I will be able to commit this time. And if you can't, be flexible, have that conversation. I think communication is one of the most important aspects. I think regardless of what industry you're in or what field you want to go into, communication will always be there. We need to work with teams. We need to work with customers and clients. We need to be able to communicate if there's a problem. How do we work through that problem, right? You can't just get flustered and throw your hands up and say, oh, I have no idea what to do. Someone else needs to fix it. You need to be able to critically think and problem solve, even if it's on a minor scale to begin with, and then moving forward. So I think just working and finding people, in an interview, we're also interviewing you in a sense. We want to know, will we have a good chemistry? Will we be able to work together, or do personalities just clash? So I don't think it's necessarily what is that, position going to give to you, but what can you give to them? And how can that be a working relationship where everyone can benefit mutually?
Oh, that both of y'all, those are such incredible answers. And I love that because it's like you are interviewing the person. This is a bigger deal for you. I mean, I feel so blessed to have found both of you, but this time in your life, this time that you're spending is crucial. You don't want to waste a year with an internship that is not going to benefit you. And I would say as a business owner, I offer you 100% flexibility. We have projects and you have that flexibility. It doesn't matter to me if you do it at 12 midnight, if you do it at 6 a.m., it doesn't matter to me. So as a business owner, I recommend allowing that flexibility. And I would say both of you are very different in that you are super proactive. You are coming to me, hey, I've got this idea, or I don't ever have to remind you. And I have had interns where I'm like, hey, what's going on out there? I mean, I obviously know they're not doing anything. I mean, I can see it, but having that, you both have that in you, that you are proactive and that you are actively seeking projects and you're actively seeking action. So I'm going to wrap this up. Bri, what is your favorite part about being an intern for Main Street or just in general?
My favorite part would probably have to be how it's gotten my name out there and how I've been able to connect with so many different people. I like the benefits I've seen. The social media algorithms really push my content now because I've been so active for Main Street, and it's really been good benefit, and it's been such a lifesaver to have that. And I really like my boss, so
Aw.
that's always a perk.
That is a perk. Thank you. What about you, Vicky? What's your favorite part?
I'd say definitely one of my favorite moments was hitting over 1 million views in 30 days on the Facebook page. That was incredible. That was such a cool, development, and how the team worked together to really push that for the views. That was definitely one of my favorite moments. On a day-to-day basis, I definitely say just, seeing the look on people's faces when I explain this concept to them that is so novel and something that is truly making their life easier. And then seeing them to go on, hey, can you help me post my horse? And then from the beginning to the end of the process where they're sold and we have happy customers who really see kind of what I call the Main Street effect. So it's
Trademark
just so
that.
cool.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. And it's just so fulfilling to help people and to really make a difference in their, day-to-day lives with selling horses.
I love it. So just to clarify for our listeners, we kind of competed with ourselves. We weren't competing with anybody else, but we put as a team, and this is our team, the three of us. We do have a West Coast director that helps us with sales and a Canadian director, but this is our core marketing team, Bri and Vicky and I. And so we decided we were getting close to 1 million views within the 28-day span on Facebook analytics. And I put it out to Bri and Vicky, and should we go for this? Like, let's do it. And they were both like, yeah, let's do it. And it was so fun to wake up every morning and see us how we had pushed that needle towards it. But it was also really good learning for all of us to see what was working and what was not working in that run for million, but it was so exciting to know that. And we don't do any paid advertising on Main Street Market. This is all organic and authentic marketing, but pushing for that 1 million. And we were really it was an amazing team experience. So
Mhm.
I feel so unbelievably blessed to have both of you. You know how much I appreciate you. You just have added such light and energy and just incredible contributions to the growth of our business. I have people message me. It's so funny and I love that our business looks so big, because it is. I mean, we have an enormous business. We sell a lot of horses and equine services, but our little team appears to be much bigger, and that's really from that energy. And I just want y'all to know how much I appreciate you. So thank you.
Thank you. We're so happy to be a part of the team.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Good team. All right. So thank y'all so much for being on. And thank you, everybody, for listening to the Main Street Minute. And we will be back again with the next episode. Have a great day.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please let us know. Email support@mainstreetmarket.com. Please share and join us again next week for another episode of the Main Street Minute, right here on the Equus Radio Network.